Boy, it has been foggy lately here in the San Joaquin Valley, and taking a look at the 10-day forecast through the rest of January here and getting into the early parts of February. Fog goes on. More foggy weather in our forecast here. Looks like we're going to finish off the month of January on a very foggy note. It's already been very foggy so far this month. Outside of the first 2-3 days of the month, we've been just dominated by the fog. And looking at the satellite picture from Friday, showing lots of fog in the valley again. Early, it did burn off to hazy sunshine in the afternoon time, but we'll see that fog forming overnight. We'll see that pattern continuing here, boy, for the foreseeable future, for at least the next week or so as we finish off the month of January. This is what it looks like below the clouds, as from Clovis and earlier recently, and just lots of fog, socking the visibility in. Boy, it's been rock bottom low out there at times. The cows don't seem to mind the fog. They sit there and continue doing your thing, but still very foggy conditions all throughout the San Joaquin Valley, not just Fresno, not just Clovis, down towards Bakersfield and Visalia and Merced and Madera, all those areas. Socked into the fog lately, and again, it is going to be continuing, unfortunately, here for at least the next week or so. Now, just a few days ago, we had visibilities down 10 consecutive hours. We had visibilities at 1/16 of a mile at Fresno Yosemite International Airport right there. Boy, that hasn't been done in 15 years. So if you're sitting there thinking, boy, this fog is worse than I remember in the past, you're right. It has been worse lately than it has been in the recent memory. And then we expand the picture out a little bit. A few days just after that one there, we had fog knocking visibility down to about 1/8 of a mile for 20 consecutive hours. The last time, that was at Fresno Yosemite International Airport also. The last time that happened, 1964. You got to go back 60 years and then some to find fog this thick in the valley for this long. So again, if you've been thinking, boy, it seems awfully foggy this year, worse than it has been recently, you're right. It has been very foggy this year, and it looks like, again, it's going to be continuing. When you're driving in the fog, don't forget about your low beams. If you've got your car just on, you got a nice car and it's got the auto light switch setting, and that's what a lot of us do in the summertime if we have that, you got to manually switch it over to the low beam setting right there, because if you leave it like this, your tail lights aren't lit up behind you, and you're just running with your daytime running lights, which are a little less visible, a little less bright than your standard low beams. In the fog, you obviously want to stand out as much as possible. Don't use the high beams, that counteracts everything, but use your low beams, and you have to manually switch it over to get that action going on, and you really want those tail lights going as well, so people can see you braking or just see the tail lights of where you are in the fog, which has knocked our visibility down rock bottom low or so. Now, this lately, up until this year, of course, the fog hasn't been too bad. Take a look back. We've looked at this a few times before, but let's look at it one more time here. Between 2023 and 24, and back 1994, 95, so that 30-year period there, we were averaging about 24 days of dense fog every year in Fresno. That's a definition of a quarter mile or less visibility. Back before that, the 30 years before that, 1993 and 94 to 1964, 1965, that 30-year period, we were averaging 40 days of dense fog per year. So the past 30 years hasn't been that foggy for us. Let's break this little nugget down here a little bit further and talk about how many dense fog advisories the National Weather Service in Hanford has issued every year here. We'll go back they keep records back to about 2004 or so. And between the time period of 2006 and 2007 to about 2016, 2017 there, about that 10-year period there, we were averaging about 11 dense fog advisories per year. Lately, it has picked up, and then you added this year, it's really picked up here. So that between 2017, 18, and this year, again, we're going just to mid-January because we're mid-January right now. 29 per year. Contrast that with 11. So why so much less? Remember the drought years? Remember it just wasn't raining there much? There it is. So that's a key suggestion there. What's causing all this fog is the rain. You get that rain early in the season and you get the ground wet, you get ponding on the water and whatnot, and then you clear the skies out, you get high pressure overhead as well, and that's able to, the water that we've got in the soil or just lying around is able to juice up the atmosphere, because you can't form fog without water. That's what fog is, cloud on the ground. And so you get that water on the ground, and then you really get the foggy conditions. So the early season rain really leads to middle and later parts of fog in the season there for us. So that catalyst is, again, the early season rain. And again, remember this year, we had so much rain there as we began the year there. One of the wettest starts to the year as we got to about Halloween or so. And even December ended up a little bit wet there towards the end of it. And that has all set the table up for very foggy conditions. The storm track has basically bypassed us for the month of January. And it continues for about the entire rest of the month here. We look towards the beginning of February. Monday is Groundhog Day. And the day of February 1st, hey, maybe a little bit of rain. So maybe as we turn the calendar from January to February, we'll get out of this foggy weather pattern and get back on into some rain.